Thank you, Mr President. I rise on behalf of the Coalition to briefly respond to the final speech from Senator Crossin. As we know, Trish has been a Territorian, as we call it, and to achieve that you actually have to live there, a Territorian for some 30 years. As she's indicated, the first woman to come to federal parliament from the Northern Territory and the first to come to this place in the Senate. And it's interesting, if you want to know something about a parliamentarian, we normally go and we'll go through Google and find out her maiden speech. And I did actually when I came here, and myself and Trish, and I'll relate to that in a moment, had quite an interesting relationship on the way here. I can remember when I read her first speech how impressed I was that she was actually was the first to use certainly Yunulmartha in this place, and she made an undertaking to the people of not only her hometown at that stage of Yirrkala but to northeast Arnhem Land. And she made a public undertaking, as she said, in Yunulmartha, amongst other things. She said, "I'm going to make a public undertaking to work hard to represent you and to continue to respect and acknowledge your rights." And if you look back, you'll find that wherever Senator Crossin has gone, she has done just that, so good on you, mate. Senator Crossin is currently the Chair of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, and I think it's reasonable to say that you've had a brilliant career in terms of your work through the committee processes of this place, and a lot of people think that this place is all about the theatre of this chamber. But in the Senate, a lot of the work of the Senate and the work of Parliament is actually conducted through the committee process. It's a really important process to ensure that we get the legislation right. And Trish, you've done an absolutely unbelievable job in that regard. They say that the world's run by the people who turn up, and it's something I live by, and certainly I can recall wherever I was, Trish was turning up. And as a parliamentarian, as a politician, it's just terrific, and particularly in the Territory. You know, it's rained lightly in the morning, screaming down a dirt road. There hasn't been anyone here. Great. Labor aren't here, where I can just go and talk to them on my own. But you'd sort of scream into a place, the dust had settled, get out, how you going? And, oh, hi, no, get here. I come over, Trish is here, come on. So we'd go, "Hi Trish, how's it going? What are you doing here?" We'd glare at each other and sit down with the community and jointly listen. I don't think many of the communities actually understand a lot of the differences and the nuances in Parliament. They think, we're both to blame for everything, and we're both trying to take the credit for everything. So that was certainly some of my recollections of Trish. She was just everywhere. We share passions of the Territory. We're the same age, and we share the same address on seat 1A on the way down from Darwin to Canberra. So I certainly have to reflect on the difficulties that I appreciate, how far away you've been from the mob up there behind me. It's terrific to see you all here. I can remember one of the first times that I met Trish on the hustings, and I'd actually there was a meeting in a radio station where Trish was absolutely flogging me for being an idiot, and I was actually such an idiot. I was on the way home from England trying to get rid of my British passport. I'd done everything except for drop kick a corgi, and I'd managed to just get home in time after having gone through that process, for those who can remember. And Trish is just explaining what an idiot I am, and I've managed to get in there in time. So she, on the radio, checked mine, read it out. Yeah, I suppose that'll pass. That was the sort of start of a great relationship. But the next time I met Trish, I was typical of an Aboriginal community. I was annoyed in the morning. We've got to go hunting. So, it's supposed to be the election day. It's all right. Off we've gone. It was fairly standard. It was a white Falcon station wagon, and part of the suspension had gone on the front. It had never been registered, I suspect. Anyway, the results of the morning's hunt were on the roof, and there was claret sort of running down onto the windscreen. And I was, perhaps I had knocked all the chips off me then. I was dressed in a Hawaiian shirt. Said goodbye to my mates and stepped out, and there's Trish. So straight away, this is supposed to be my mortal opposition. I wasn't really sure what was supposed to happen. She's come over, Nige, how are you, mate? Good to meet you. Come on, I'll show you around. So, okay. I think the relationship has stayed pretty much that way. I often think that we're very different in the Territory. There's only 2 senators in the Territory, and so there really is an obligation to work together. We have been very close colleagues, and we've worked together, and some of the issues I don't think we've worked together on both sides. We've worked together when I was in government, and we've worked together when Trish has been in government, and I think any future Territorians who are considering these places, you'll find that's an essential, this relationship is an essential part of getting things done for Territorians. Look, the circumstances under which you leave this place are going to be more controversial and annoying Amanda Vanstone, although I know that was everybody here was mightily impressed. And I have to again reflect that I have my personal views about that is that I just don't understand. I don't think many of us will understand, and maybe in someone's memoirs they will throw some light on the fact that we have an Aboriginal woman, a traditional woman, who has been 10 years as a Labor minister. And we have Trish, who's been 15 years as an outstanding senator, are both standing for pre-selection in quite a reasonable pre-selection process. Trish was sharing with me she was a bit nervous because Marion Scrimgeour was a very, very good candidate. And then out of the blue, I saw Trish in Sydney, very distressing. Out of the blue, these things have happened. It was a reflection really on the Prime Minister's judgment and frankly her character. And I say that not in a political sense, mate, but it is a great sadness to me. It's sad that Kevin still isn't here at this stage, but I'm not sure about the machinations of the next week, and again I don't wish to pour any porridge on your day, but don't mention the war. But Kevin, if you're listening, mate, and you are going to do something, there is still time to undo a great wrong. There is still time, mate. So on behalf of the Coalition and the Territory, mate, thank you.
Here, here. Well said.